It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm back. Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Paul, cinematographer. I make short films. I do other stuff, but we're just gonna focus on the fact I make short films. All right? I'm gonna link them, especially the one that we're gonna go over today. A New Day is what I called it. Made it right when COVID first hit. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna break down the cinematography for it. But by the way, I'm a lot quieter than normal, and I'm gonna be a little bit more subdued because it's late. I don't even know what time it is right now, but I got kids, they're sleeping. I got a wife, she's sleeping, and I didn't want to wake anybody up. You know what I mean? Because I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna keep it calm, and then I'm just gonna break this stuff down for you. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with my wife, who helped play this character. She's sitting on the couch. She's in the medical profession, you know, and she's sitting there. She's watching the news. She's hearing about COVID for the first time, and you know, her character is just nervous. She's scared. She doesn't know what's gonna happen. So I wanted to make sure that it was a little bit moody. Let's start off number one with these practicals here. So I got 2 light bulbs in there. They're both Philips Hue light bulbs. And what I did is I lowered them down to about 20%. So this was before Aperture had the B7Cs. If I was doing this now, I would definitely throw those in there to kind of help light the situation up, because these flicker. So I had to keep them real low at, like, I think it was about 20%, and that kind of helped. You couldn't really see the flicker. So it's serving as a practical, it's serving as motivation for some of the lighting. It's supposed to be, you know, that light is kind of like helping give you some of this light around her face here. Let me show you how we got that light on her face, the key, which is we had an Aperture 300D. I had some diffusion on there. I think I had a full stop of diffusion on there, and I added a grid to it. So if you don't know what the grid is or what it does, it just kind of helps focus the light right on her face. So it doesn't allow the light to spill all over the room. And I added that on there, and what I also did is I added a flag on both sides of the dome so that I could stop the light from spilling on this wall. So you can kind of see here in this area, you can kind of see it's a little bit darker than this area. So that's because I flagged it off, and I wanted to make it look like somehow a lot of the light was coming from over here somewhere. Then I added an Aperture 120D over here, and that was supposed to serve as kind of like the TV. What I did is I just used a 5-in-1 reflector, and I waved it in front of the light to make it look like the TV was flickering. I also added a CTO on it, a CTB on it to kind of give it that color that the TV has. And you can kind of see it here on this pole. You can see the bluish color light back here. And I think that was it, except for I did have a V-flat on this side of her to kind of serve as negative fill, so that some of the light that was coming from over here wasn't bouncing off that wall and spilling onto here. And I just wanted to make sure that there was enough contrast. So that's pretty much all I did for this shot. All right, the second shot here. This one makes me laugh a little bit because in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why it's in there. I know why it's in there, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think it should have been in there. But look, what was happening was, it was COVID, and my wife was working. She was tired. She was probably getting tired of helping me, and we were running out of time. This was like spread out over like a week. We were just doing little shots here and there. But this made it in there just because, you know, I was running out of shots that made sense. So we just threw this one in here. But either way, some people said they liked the color. Some people said they liked the pattern. So I just wanted to break it down and let you know how we did it. So what I did is I threw that same Aperture 300D over her head, and I put the diffusion on there, and I also added the grid on there. And what that did is kind of just help keep the light going down this way. As you can see, it spilled all the way down here, and I was fine with that. That's kind of what I wanted, to kind of help brighten up that foreground a little bit. I added a gel to it. I don't remember the exact gel that I added. I just know it was a blue gel. It wasn't a CTO or CTB, but it was like a color effects, like a Roscoe color effects gel. And yeah, I just wanted to give it that blue look, and I wanted to keep it off the bed. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of blue there, a little bit of blue, but then it just falls off completely, and now all we have is that purple back there. In here, I got those same hue light bulbs, and you can change the color on those, on some of them. So on this one, I changed the color to this orange type color. That was just because I wanted a little pop of color in here. And this door right here is not only serving as something to kind of give us, you know, like a cue that there's some depth going on in here, but also I was hiding where the light was coming from. So this purple light. So I had a 120D on a C-stand back here that was shooting light through a piece of cardboard that we cut a whole bunch of patterns into. So that's called a cookie. And I just wanted to kind of break up what was going on that back wall. I wanted to do something interesting. Again, like if I could go back, I would have made sure that I shot something that fit a little bit better. But I kind of just had that attitude for this project, and a lot of projects really, is sometimes it's just better for that project to get done than it is to be perfect, you know? All right, this next shot right here is her character. You know, the night before she was watching the news, but in this shot, she wakes up and she's ready to tackle the new day, right? What I did here, this was kind of a simple shot. If you actually watched the video, so by the way, I should have said this earlier. If you didn't watch it, probably go back and watch it so you can kind of see, you know, what the story is, and maybe it'll help you understand why we lit it the way we did. So what I did is number one, I have like a quasar tube back here. It's just sitting on the floor actually. And what that's doing, I just had it kind of sitting so that it hit up into the room, and added a little bit of a room tone in there. All of this was falling into like dark shadow, and I didn't want that to happen. And all these walls were kind of black. So that quasar tube kind of helped fill the room up a little bit and help give me a little bit of, information in those areas so that everything didn't fall into shadow and we didn't know what was going on. All right, so outside of that quasar tube that I was using to get that room tone, what I did is I added an aperture 300D onto a C-stand, and I added a Fresnel to the front of it. And if you don't know what a Fresnel is, the easiest way for me to say it is that it's just kind of like a magnifying glass almost, and you shoot light through it, and it helps it gives you a harder light, more directional. And that's what I wanted to do to give you this light that's kind of hitting her here, and hitting the sheets here. And it's hitting a little bit of this lamp back here. So that's why I added the Fresnel. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to get it outside, but I couldn't get it outside at the time. So I tried to cheat it, and I got it way up here, and I got it kind of like shooting down this way. It's supposed to give the effect that the light is coming from that window. If you really like look at it, then you know that that's not what's going on. But the shots in there, and it's kind of quick, and you're focused on her anyway, that my hope was that nobody would really notice. I got a flag that was actually on the other side of the the 300D and the Fresnel, and that's why this whole area here is a little bit darker. So I added it to make that area a little bit darker because it kind of helped me with the cheat of making it look like the light was coming from over here, and that it wasn't just coming from somewhere else in the room. So I think it worked out pretty good though for what we were trying to do. All right, so this is the final shot that we're gonna go through. This was it wasn't necessarily hard to pull off or anything like that, but it took me some time to kind of play around and get the shot the way I wanted. So number one, what I'll say is what I wanted was the character to be coming from the darkness into the light, like, you know, coming from the old into the new, from the old day to the new day. I knew that in order to do that I was gonna have to go with a light, kind of like a spotlight type of deal. Like I didn't want to do any kind of like quarter key or anything like that. So what I decided to do was go overhead. So if you're ever trying to figure out, you know, where lights, how somebody lit something, just kind of pay attention to where the light falls, how it hits. So you can kind of see this hot spot here. You can kind of see the light here, this right here, and then like under her eyes are kind of like all giveaways to, you know, this is if you're just kind of starting out, but all giveaways. Look, there's a little bit of light right here on her hair. Those are all giveaways that the light is coming from above. So, and that's exactly what I did. I had the light, I had a light dome above her with a 300D. So same deal as before. I got a stop of diffusion on there. I had a grid on here, and it was just shooting this light all the way down here for her, you know? But I had a problem when I did that. which was whenever you have overhead lighting, the area here under her eyes kind of fell to darkness. So what I did is I added a show card under her chin here on a C-stand, and that light that was coming from here was bouncing back into her eyes. You can see it right there in her eye. I covered it. You can kind of see it right there, and you can see it there. So it kind of helped fill up the light under her eyes and under her chin, because her chin was, this whole area here in her neck was all kind of black. It didn't look good. So you can still see some of the shadow here, but it helped fill that out. It also added that eye light there that we just talked about. So it kind of gave life to her eyes, because when you do the overhead lighting, you lose that. So if you're not going to do a show card for some reason, then, maybe throw a light somewhere over here that's kind of going to shoot a small light that'll shoot some light into her eyes or your character's eyes. So that's just a little tip to make sure you don't forget, if you do overhead lighting, to make sure you're adding something to the eyes to keep that character alive. But that was it. That's all I did there. Let me tell you one more thing, actually, is I had a flag right here, and it was covering up this portion of the dome that gave us this shadow that you see right here. So when I initially did it, it was just it was lighting her too even. I didn't like the look. So I added that flag, and it kind of just helped add a little bit of dimension to her face. But yeah, that's what we did to light her. As far as the background, we got the same practicals back there that we had before. So we got the Philips Hue light bulbs back there set at 20%. I think I messed with the color to get them to be a little bit more orange. We got this right here is a street light. So it was kind of like twilight, the sun was going down, and we had that little street light there, and I added a little candle, and I had it match the same color of the practical over here. But I just wanted to kind of balance it out a little bit. That was just a little tiny thing that I did, like little details to kind of help make the image look a little bit better. So I just wanted to balance it out. And so like I said, the practicals that's what was kicking this orange color that you see over here. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to add a color that was the opposite of that, the blue tealish color on the other side. So I played around with it a little bit, and I was having a little bit of trouble because I was trying to do the same cheat that I did with the other shot, with the bedroom shot, and it just wasn't working. But eventually what I did is I just took a 120D and I shot it straight into that window. I added a CTB to it, but I also added that grid that I had before. And when I shot it into the window, and I added the haze, it just kind of made it look like that light was just like softly spilling into the room. So it just gave it a nice little look. All right, cool. That was it. That was my breakdown. That was the cinematography breakdown of my short film, A New Day. Hopefully I was able to break that down for you in a way that you could easily understand. But yeah, if you learned something, let me know. If you liked it, then hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I'll be doing another one of these if you guys think that is helpful. But until the next time, yeah.